All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. And in this video, you guys can tell it's dark outside. We're gonna be going ahead and dragging the GT350. Now, it's been a very long time since I've done any watt pulls in this car. It's been literally probably 4 or 5 months, but since the fact I've been dragging the 99, we'll do this car. Actually, I will show you guys the rundown when I do get to the gas station. Oh yeah, she loud. All right, we're at the gas station. Give you guys a quick walk around of the Shelby GT350. We got the Mickeys on here, so hopefully we don't spin, even though it is kind of cool. Got the Michelins in the front, stock wheels, 19s. Full interior car. I do have a rear seat delete, but it is down, but pretty much a full interior car, full weight, 0 weight reduction. The rear seats don't really weigh anything, but it is what it is. Carbon fiber hood, maybe shaves 5 pounds. Not gonna really make a huge difference. Still got the stock brakes. I'll show you guys this right here. So yeah, let's see what this car does, man. Yo, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great rest of your day, start your day, whatever time it may be. And yesterday, I had a little bit of a scare. I still am pretty worried, but at the same time, I think I narrowed it down to 2 things that could be going on with the Shelby GT350. If you guys read the title, you could tell that we got a little bit of an issue. This is the first problem, actually not really the first problem, this is actually the first, one of the major problems I ran into with this car. It developed an oil leak, man. Now, before you guys all comment, oh, the voodoo oil leak, this is something that, from what I researched, is quite common on these cars, but I want to make sure that this is exactly what's going down. So this car is going to the shop ASAP. It's gonna get towed to a shop tomorrow. I'm making this video on a Friday, so depending on when you're watching this, I could already have an update video out for you guys, so stay tuned for that. Now, if you guys missed my last video, we did take this car out to do some hard pulls and some very nice air. After that, I took the car home, I parked it up. I didn't park it this way. I parked it kind of facing toward my house, and I did not notice, because of the way I parked it, there was an oil leak. Now, it's probably kind of dry, but you can kind of see, like, I hope you can see it, like down over there, there is a spot, on the floor where some oil was actually leaking. Now, I did actually take this car out after I believe it did start to leak. I did not do any pulls. I just cruised it to the gas station, got gas, came back, did not take the car over 3,000 RPM. And as I was pulling into my garage, I noticed like a pool of oil, and I was like, what the hell? So I got out, I inspected it, and as I was walking back to the car, because I had it in, the driveway, I saw an oil drip. I was like, what the hell? So I looked under the car, and there was, a slow but somewhat steady drip of oil. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and inspect this, because I did have to put something under the car. You can see here, this is where it was leaking like last night. I was expecting it to be quite severe overnight, but it appears that if it actually stopped, and once the motor started to actually get cold, the oil leak actually stopped. So that's pretty interesting. Now, I actually am gonna go ahead and put a picture and a vid on the screen right now for you guys, so you can see exactly kind of the general area of where this car was leaking oil. And honestly, I think, like I said, it could be one or two places. Now, let me know down in the comment section, for those of you who have Shelby GT350s or ran into an issue like this before, where did something go wrong? Where did you have to go ahead and get service at? Now, for me personally, I do believe that it is the oil pressure sensor. Sometimes, apparently this is common on these cars, due to the vibrations, it can kind of, you know, back out a little bit, and it can cause an oil leak. Or the oil filter was not torqued down properly, and obviously due to the vibrations, that can also back out and start an oil leak. But the really interesting thing is, after this oil leak did happen, I let the car sit for about 6 to 7 hours just to make sure the motor was cold, and I did check the oil, and to my surprise, I still have all 10 quarts of oil in the car. So I'm under the assumption that it's probably that sensor that backed out that's causing, you know, that slow but steady drip. But in all reality, it's kind of a lot of oil, but not really a lot, but it's enough oil to the point where I'm like, does that all come from that sensor area? Again, let me know down in the comment section if you guys have ran into this issue. But like I said, I'm gonna get this car taken to the shop. I'm gonna get it situated immediately, because obviously I don't want this car dripping oil. I don't want this car dripping oil in my garage, and obviously oil issue with the Voodoo. You don't really wanna mess with that. You wanna get that situated, taken care of as soon as possible. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not too sure when it actually started to get like severe, putting air quotes around severe, because I'm not really entirely sure yet. Need to get it looked at. I'm not too sure if the car was leaking oil overnight after doing the pulls. I'm not too sure if it started to leak oil, you know, after I did the cold start the night, or the morning of that I went ahead and did those pulls. I did it at like, you know, 2, 3 in the morning. I'm not too sure if that caused it or that's when it started to leak. But it's really interesting that there's a leak, but the motor still has all the oil. Again, that is technically a good thing, because I definitely don't want to be driving this car low on oil. That's something you don't want to do. I was expecting to be, honestly, like at the very least, like a quart low, but it's not, which is really, really interesting. Now, again, there was no smoke. I didn't see anything, you know, coming from the engine bay. This could have been incredibly bad, because if I did not take this car out yesterday to go to the gas station, obviously the next time I would have took the car out would have been, you know, to do a video, and I quite literally obviously would have done some pulls in the car after that leak, and that could have literally potentially caused an engine fire, because obviously heat, oil, you don't really want to mess with that. I mean, I've heard some horror stories of these cars burning down the track because, like I said, the oil filter from not being torqued down right backs out, that sensor backs out, leaks oil and fire. I mean, that would have been, you know, that would have been shitty as fuck, because I mean, the sound deadening in this car is pretty good, the insulation's pretty good. I mean, I don't want to know what would have happened if I did not notice that leak when I did. Now, the interesting thing is, when I did pull the car in overnight, I did not see a trail out in front of my house, and I know for a fact I would have seen a trail, because oil, like, it still leaves the residue. So if I would have, cause I opened up the garage door, obviously I walk out, I would have saw a trail, so I would have, you know, put 2 and 2 together. But because I had the car parked this way, the opposite direction, and my garage is kind of, you know, when you're up this way, you can't really see what's going on because it's kind of on an incline, but once you roll the car a little bit, it gets level. I didn't see that little puddle of oil, so I'm really happy I noticed that when I did, because this could have been incredibly bad. Now, I did not notice any drop in oil pressure when I was driving the car because I do monitor those parameters like a hawk. Obviously, with it being backed out, it could have, you know, prevented some accurate readings, but at the same time, I feel like if it was really low on oil, or at least a quart low, you'd be able to tell, because I do know that that sensor will kind of go like back and forth if you are a quart low on oil. I did go ahead and watch a YouTube video of somebody actually showcasing that happening on a GT350, and that didn't happen. Because if that happened, I would have 100% pulled over, and I would have been able to find out exactly what was going on. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. If it is the oil filter and it was not torqued down properly, the last shop that did the oil change, I'm 100% going to politely ask them to pay for a new oil filter. And obviously, if the filter did back out, the oil is gonna have to be changed because it could be potentially contaminated. I'm just gonna have to go ahead and do that because this car only has 1,500 miles. The book says these cars should be changed every 5,000. I'm not even halfway there. I mean, there's really no reason why I should have to pay, you know, over $250 for something that I personally did not mess up. So I will keep you guys updated. So if you have an issue like this and you did not change the oil, shop did it, and you know, you ran into something similar to me, I'll let you guys know exactly what goes down so you can have, you know, everything sorted out in your favor, because obviously the torque specs are on the damn oil filter, and there are specific oil filters that you are supposed to get for these cars, which I do get, and they are not cheap, because obviously with the vibrations of the Voodoo, you know, things can, you know, get loose if not installed properly. So I'm gonna definitely go ahead and get to the bottom of this. So you'll either get an update in the next video or the video after that, depending on what is going down. And hopefully, you know, it's just, you know, simple, you know, sensor that need to be go ahead and you know, tighten back up. I do know there are some parts that you have to get to properly do that, which I'm gonna have to get. But if it's the filter, obviously we gotta get a new filter, we gotta do an oil change, and we gotta take a look at some other things. I know there also could be some, you know, lines with the oil cooler, but again, I feel like if it was actually the oil cooler, I would be a quart low or more, because that's a lot of oil coming out. But again, it's still saying that there's plenty of oil in the engine, which is, you know, pretty interesting. But yeah, catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.